Hey boys and girls, it's your art teacher, Miss Summers. So today we are going to continue with our gemstone drawings. So if you did not watch part one, the first video, I highly recommend that you do. We learned to draw these different gemstones and crystals, right? And we are going to continue and learn some different ones. So I'm going to switch up my color today. I'm going to use blue for my drawings. You can start in pencil if you want. It is whatever makes you happy. I think it's easier for you all to see the markers when I'm doing the videos. All right, so we're going to draw pretty similarly to our previous drawing, right? We're just going to try out some different gemstones, drawing kind of small on our paper. So I'm going to start off in the top corner of my page with a rectangle. It's going to be a tall, skinny rectangle. And I'm going to draw diagonal lines on the top corners that point up and away. And then I'm going to draw diagonal lines on the bottom that point down and away. And I'm going to try to make these diagonal lines roughly the same size. So it looks like this. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my lines to create an outer rectangle. Just trying to make sure you're all awake there. All right, so when your drawing looks like this, you are done with our first gemstone. All right, so I think that you all are ready for some more challenging drawings in this one. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start by drawing a square. It doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some diagonal lines, like I did with my rectangle. So the top two are pointing up and out, and the bottom two are pointing down and out. All right, and then I'm going to connect to make an outer square shape. But I could stop here if I wanted to, but I'm going to make this one a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do is I've connected each of the corners of my square out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw kind of a triangle shape in along each of the sides or edges of my square now. So let me show you what I mean. So on the top one, I'm going to draw a shape kind of like a capital A, right? That goes from the corners, goes to the middle of the top there. So a diagonal line and a diagonal line. And what that does is that divides my top into 3 triangles. All right, then I'm going to make kind of a sideways V on one of my side ones, right? Again, just a diagonal line and a diagonal line. They're touching the corners here of my square and the center here of my outer square. All right, in my bottom one, I'm going to draw a V shape. Right? Again, trying to line up with those corners. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, right? So again, kind of a sideways V shape. All right, so that's one of our gemstones, right? So we have 1, 2, complete. Now for this one, let's go ahead and make a trickier one again, right? So we're going to make kind of the classic looking diamond. So the way we're going to start is we're going to start with a rectangle. This rectangle is going to be kind of a short, fat rectangle, or kind of a one that's going sideways. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to draw 2 short lines that come from the side of that rectangle. Now it kind of looks like a top hat. And we're going to turn those into triangles by connecting it with a diagonal line and another diagonal line on the other side. Nice. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice tall V shape under our main rectangle. And we're going to connect the outer edges here and here back down to the bottom point of our V. Just like this. All right, now we have kind of a large triangle here. What I want you to do is I want you to draw a straight line down the middle. We're going to divide that large triangle in half. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right where this connects, I'm going to draw a V shape. Let me show you what I mean. Just like this. And then I'm going to draw a line to connect that outer point of my V down here, and then this one right down there. So I'm turning that V shape into kind of a capital M shape. Just like that. And now you've done it. So we've drawn 3 more different types of gemstones. Right, and just for fun, let's end with one more that's a little bit simpler, okay? So I'm gonna start with a triangle that's pointing upwards. And then I'm going to add another triangle on the bottom by making a V. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines coming from the middle of that shape, pointing down and out. I'm going to connect the outer point of that line back down to the point of my V, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side, connecting right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top of this side here, and I'm going to draw a line there, and I'm going to draw another one here. Just connecting everything. All right, so in part 2 of our video, right, you learned 4 more ways to draw a crystal or a gemstone. Now I'm going to show you again my example of them colored, right? And I recommend, again, if you didn't watch part 1 or if you've forgotten, I recommend that you color with different shades of the same color or with 2 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, right? So you can see today we learned how to draw this one here. We drew this one, we drew this one, and we drew this one, right? All right, I hope that you enjoyed our crystal and gemstone drawing part 2 video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, boys and girls.